Step into the mind of the unknown, where we dive deep into the unique human experience, where we blend the dark and the light. I'm your host Fabian, this is my co-host Sam, and welcome to Anything Evil.
Yo!
Was good, y'all?
Happy Friday, y'all. You know what that means. Brand new episode of Anything Evil.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all for the kind words on our last episode with our guest, our very first guest.
Had a lot of feedback.
People are somewhat not nervous anymore to join. You know what I mean? They thought I was gonna ambush my brother, but it was pretty chill, right?
I liked it, bro.
Not bad. We
Everybody liked Chris as a guest, bro. So that was cool.
learned a couple of things or two, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
from how to run a business and all that good stuff. So shout out to Chris, my brother, and shout out to Dream Slam. Dream Slam this week on Saturday is gonna have their first show of the year in a Gamecraft Brewery. Pull up. It starts at 4:00. Good time for the family, get some drinks, watch some wrestling, watch the next generation of, our superstars for
Hell
wrestling
yeah.
if you're a fan, and, just support, my brother's business. So follow him at Dream Slam. Pull up on Saturday. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be on camera, just filming everything. So say what's up if you see me, say what's up to Chris if you have any questions on anything regarding wrestling. And yeah, man, appreciate all the kind words on the past episode. Today, though, is just gonna be me and the big dog riding
Yes, sir.
solo.
Back to the old.
Riding
Us.
solo. We're gonna be talking about a couple things. Today is my birthday, so we're gonna be talking about how I feel about all that good stuff.
So was talking all that shit that we were all old. Now look at him. 32.
Yeah, man.
Old ass fool.
Kind of feel it's like a bittersweet feeling nowadays, but we'll talk about it. Before then, please follow us on all our socials at anything_evil on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're really pushing for those YouTube. We're trying to get to 50, right?
Yes, sir.
Trying to
Shout
get-
out to the two people that added us last night.
Hey,
Hell yeah, bro. We see you.
It
Don't
works
think we
out.
don't see you. We
It-
see you. We appreciate you.
yeah, we're gonna try to get to 50 by the end of the month. Hopefully you guys can subscribe to us and help us reach that goal. Also follow us on TikTok. Same stuff is gonna be on there. Maybe a couple other little things, little snippets, but follow us on TikTok as well. IG, you guys have been killing it. A lot of engagement. So thank you all for liking all our posts on IG. Yeah, man, we're really we're building something. So
We are, dog, and it's actually pretty cool to see, man. The fact that people are, listening to our stuff, engaging, and just wanting to be a part of this community is cool, dog.
Yes, sir.
And also, guys, for those of you who are subscribing to the YouTube channel, once we hit 50 subscribers, we are going to pick a winner. So we are going to do a little giveaway. We'll give you guys more details on that. I know we've been trying to give you guys mad details and stuff, but there's just a lot of things that we got to take care of first, and we apologize again. But yes, once we hit 50, out of those 50 lucky people, one's gonna get the award, and we'll let you know what it is pretty soon.
Yes, sir. Cool stuff,
Hell yeah.
things that are. I think it's gonna be exclusive to one of one too, right? We'll make it super special. But yeah, just so again, just follow us on our socials and let's get started, brother. Today, since it is my birthday, like I was saying earlier, I feel a little bit bittersweet. You know what I mean? Birthdays don't feel the same anymore, especially as time goes on. You know what I mean? Like you lose people in your life, and sometimes, I'm not gonna say I'm like depressed or anything, but it's like, when people start like every year you're missing somebody new. You know what I mean? It just feels different, and it kind of makes me like reflect. I'm like, oh shit, well, fuck, 32 years, man. What have I been doing for 32 years? I don't even remember the last year what I did, and time just flies, bro. And I guess this particular day for me is like a stop and reflect, kind of shit. Nowadays, with this podcast, it kind of gave me new life. I don't want to say that I was depressed these past 32 years, you know what I mean? But this podcast is kind of like, giving me some sort of silver lining, right? It's been giving me a roadway. I've been excited to do stuff now. I'm very happy to do what I do here with the big dog, sharing some, dumb little facts here and there. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you feel like that too, big dog. Like when it was your birthday last year.
Hell yeah, bro. Like, especially being like the oldest from our friend group, besides Chris, he's just there. He's Rose's roommate. It does feel weird, bro, because you do look back and you realize, like, damn, bro, like, it feels like we were just in our 20s, and the fact that
time
now
flies.
We're 32,
Yep.
It's actually pretty insane.
Yep.
Because I remember when I was, like, in my early 20s making fun of fools in their early 30s and shit, and now I'm making fun of people that are 40, because I don't think I'm ever going to get to 40, and then, boom, 40 comes,
Yeah, and that's only 8 years away.
That's only 8 years
You know what I
away,
mean?
dog, so it's crazy.
Yeah, so for today's episode, I kind of want to talk about. Well, it's gonna lead to what it is. So, like, let me go back to how I feel. A lot of people, kind of like I was saying, reflect on today specifically. And we look at it in a bad way, right? Like, it's one day, it's another day that means you're getting older. You know what I mean? And which means it's like that you're getting closer to the end rather than
A year closer to death, as
Yeah.
they say.
yeah. So it's like you have less life than more. You know what I mean? And pretty much what we want to talk about today, which nobody really ever talks about, is death. We want to just shine a light on what that means to us. If we've accepted it, all that good stuff, and all the fears that come with it. When did we first experience our our mortality? You know what I mean? And all that good stuff. So that's what we'll be talking about today. If anybody has some of those feelings about their birthday, please comment down below.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? We're on this little marble in the middle of the fucking universe. We all feel the same. We all feel the same things sometimes, and we just never get heard. So if anybody feels like that, like on their birthday, kind of like me, it's a little bittersweet. It's very happy, but you kind of like go like fuck, closer to the end, right?
It is trippy, like how you were saying, bro. Especially because, like, as you get older, everybody else around you gets older, like you mentioned earlier, and it's like one of those things where it's tough, bro, because it's kind of like that reality that you just kind of accept the older you get. Because when you're a kid, you're like, oh, like,
oh, dude,
I'm gonna live forever.
Yeah.
Like, everybody around me is gonna stick
days,
together
bro.
forever. And it's just the older you get, the less we have around. So that's why I don't know. Like you said, like I think once I turn 30, it kind of makes you appreciate things a lot more than I guess years prior. Because like, all right, bro, like. Not that, like, I only got, like, 10 years to live. But who knows, But it's just one of those things of, like, fuck, bro, like.
Honestly, I'm surprised I made it this far.
Oh, you're telling me, bro.
You know
I used
what I
to fuck around telling mom that I wasn't going to touch 32 just to fuck around. But here I am, And it's just crazy, bro, because, like, my brother and them, like, they're almost 40. My kids are already double digits, or my sister's kids are double digits. And it's just, and then you think back, like, your teachers, like, coworkers,
how they doing,
how they're doing. And it's just like, it's just a weird way to see life now, because it's just like, all right, well, I'm an adult, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and it's just weird, bro, because I guess for us, since we've always strived to, like, achieve so much and do so much with arts or whatever.
Yeah, very ambitious.
I feel like the older we get, the harder it gets, because it's like, damn, bro, I've wasted all this time.
It does feel like that.
Why didn't I do this earlier? Like, what could I have done better? Because I know there's certain people that love to celebrate their birthday, Chris, and then you just get excited, and it's like, I wish I had that feeling still, bro. But it's like you said, it's one of those days
God
where
bless
it hits
the
you.
Homie. Yeah,
it hits you, and you're like, damn, bro. Like,
everybody gets hit a different way.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah,
and we're just being real. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how we feel, right? Like, not to talk shit on anybody who celebrates their birthday, takes the day off. And all
not
that.
at all, bro. Like, I'm jealous of the people who can actually, like, take the time to
Yeah.
celebrate the birthdays, go do shit. Like, that's cool.
One thing that I was doing these past couple years, which kind of makes me sad, which probably kind of gave me this like bittersweet feeling, when I had my parents still here and shit. Something that I adopted, probably. It's gonna get real. It's gonna get real right now. Something that I adopted these past couple years, because obviously it's my birthday, right? It's supposed to be about me, but all I did was just be born, right?
Yeah.
It's like I didn't do shit. You know what I mean? It's all about my parents, right? More specifically, my mom. Shit.
You good, bro? You good?
So these past couple of years, when she was alive, rather than just celebrate me, I used to buy her flowers, buy her gifts, you know what I mean? Rather than, take the spotlight on myself because it's my birthday. I shared these past couple years. It's been a while. I think it's going to be 3 years this year since she's been gone. I think it's been 3 years. I really don't like to look back on that.
Yeah, it's
But just as a personal favor to me, I like to give a challenge out to all our listeners. Like, hey man, on your special day, celebrate your celebrate your parents. You know what I mean? Because we didn't do shit, bro. we just came out, of their bodies. You know what I mean? And it's not like a big accomplishment for us just to live. It's our dads, our mothers especially, who had to carry us for 9 months and had to struggle through pushing us out, and it's painful. It's very grotesque. It's a very scary scene. That whole childbirth, but gotta give your flowers to your mom. You know what I mean? Let them know that they're special on your day. You know what I mean? And it's a special little challenge for you guys. To see if anybody who has a birthday from now on, give your mom some flowers. Or give her just a longer hug. And tell her how you feel, because one of these days, according to the circle of life, eventually, they're gonna be gone, because death is inevitable. And your parents are naturally gonna pass away before you do. You know what I mean? So, take that as a challenge. On your birthday, a special challenge for me personally. But yeah, man. So reason I got so emotional is because obviously, my mom and my dad, they're no longer here. My dad passed away 2 years ago. My mom passed away 3 years ago. And someone who's seen death, who's worked with death, you would think you'd be a little desensitized, but it's really, when somebody that you love passes away, it's very tough. It leaves a very big void in your heart. Something that's never gonna get filled. Like when they both passed away, or pretty much when my mom passed away. Just to get real, it was a sad day because, obviously she passed away, but I would never ever utter the words "mom" ever again. I knew I was never gonna say those words ever again. I was never gonna say, my mom's name. Shit, let me get my bearings straight. I knew I was never gonna say those words again. I knew I was never gonna say "mama," because she's no longer here. So I don't say them anymore. That's something that I have to, accept with death. Obviously. And it sucks because shit, we're all going there, bro. We're all going there. And the reason why I'm like, so sad and shit, because like now I feel like these past couple of years, like now, like me and the Big Dub been talking, like now we got a vision, bro. Now we're doing shit. Now we're like, I got married. I'm fucking being an adult and shit. And then like it just sucks that my parents are never gonna see, potentially our successes from this podcast, You know, and that's the thing that, you know, death takes away from you. You know what I mean? That's the shit that we don't really talk about ever. You know what I mean? I haven't talked about this in a long time either. But it's like it's all inevitable, bro. It's all gonna happen. You know, it's all coming for us.
No, without a doubt, bro. And
You know what I mean?
like how you said, bro, it's just I feel like the worst thing a kid can go through is losing their parents, you know? And obviously, like, I remember when you went through that, you know, being like, we grew up together, bro. And like, obviously, your parents were like my parents, you know? And
Yeah.
obviously, seeing how all that went down, like, you know, you really can't put it into words because it's just like, what do? You know, what can you say? How can you help? How can you,
Oh yeah.
like you said, fill that void? You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's just like I've been close to a situation like that. Obviously, like a lot of people close to me know that, like, almost 10 years ago, my mom got diagnosed with cancer, you know, and like
Mm-hmm.
that was one of those things for me that you know, and it's tough because you think about the fact that somebody who took care of themselves so well and like give their fucking shirt off their back to make sure everybody's chilling, like, and then gets hit with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that day too.
Oh, bro, like I was angry at the world that day,
Yeah.
bro, because it's just like, you know, as a kid, you're like, why didn't it happen to me? Why, you know,
Mhm.
like, and then you get to that whole battle of like religion and shit like that,
Yeah.
and like, I didn't like that point in my life, bro, because you know, you're very angry at the world,
Oh yeah.
and then you know when. I remember when they had given me the information, it's like, hey, bro, like, there's kind of a slight chance that your mom might not make it, you know? And, like,
Yeah.
you know, it's one of those things, too, where you're like, fuck, bro, like, what do you mean? Like, this,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
It means
nah.
death is coming.
You know what I'm saying?
for your-
Like, nah, like, you're
death is
tripping.
coming for
like,
your mom, bro.
I'm supposed, you know, like, I'm supposed to watch my mom, you know, last forever.
Yeah.
And then, you know, by, you know, obviously all the beautiful doctors and everybody that took the time to, you know, take care of my mom, like, she came out good, man. She beat cancer, and like, and you know, you always have that thought in the back of your head of like, fuck, bro, like, I almost lost her. And then
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you get to the point where you see your best friend lose his parents, bro, and it's just, it's not easy, bro, because like I said, you know, like, she was like my mom too, bro. Like, you know, even from going from elementary school, going to your house every day, skating, always seeing your mom, like, yell at your sisters, or yell at you fools, or your dad just chilling with his little Indiana Jones hat. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's stuff like that, bro, that like makes you really appreciate everything around you, you know. And it's just, and it sucks that, you know, like, me and Fane, I've always kind of mentioned, like, me and this fool kind of grew up with the same lifestyle, bro. You know, like, we had divorced parents and shit, and you know, like, we grew up with our struggles, and, you know, we did everything we could to try to kind of look past all the negative shit that happened in our life, bro. And, like, we just kept going. And, yeah, like he said, man, like, the day that he texted me, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say, you know. And it's just, it's one of those things where all you can really say is, like, well, I'm here for you if you need anything, you know. Like, I can't take you a cake. I can't fucking, you know, like, go give you a hug. It's not going to.
Oh yeah.
And that's why, like, I think although death is one of those things where people are very afraid to talk about, it's one of the realities that are never going to fucking get past us, bro. We can't sneak by death. We can't just, you know, like, it's going to happen. And, you know, seeing how strong people have to be, knowing how damaged they are, you know, because I knew this motherfucker was going through it, man. I knew there was days where, you know, like, he needed somebody, and like, but like, a lot of the times we don't want to bother people, you know. We don't want to be like, oh, don't worry about me, bro, I'm good. And yeah, man, it's just one of those things where, like, I'm sure anybody listening to this podcast is either going through it now or gone through it, you know. And it's not fun, man. You know, it's not fun when, you know, life pauses for a second and you realize, like, all right, man, like, this is who I am now. This is who's still here. What now?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, the people that brought you in here are gone. How do I navigate? How do I, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've never even thought about the fact, like how you said, like, you'll never be able to say mom, or like, you know. And it's just, it's tough, bro. It's really tough, man. And like, I don't want to, you know, just
harsh realities.
It's just one of those things that's just tough, bro. Because it's like, to me, it's like, well, now that's waiting for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not that, like,
unfortunately.
yeah,
you know
and
what I
not like, oh yeah, good thing this fool went through it young. No, bro, nobody needs to go through that shit young
mean?
because
No, yeah,
it's tough, man.
but yeah, those are the the unfortunate parts of like how you said, the reality, bro. It's death. It's all coming for us. Obviously it came from my mom and my dad a little bit earlier than I would have hoped. But that's just the way it is. That's just life. As I mean, you can't fight it. There's no way. And I did everything I could to keep them both, but it's just how it is, man. And so, going away from these subjects, which I apologize, it's still a very hard subject for me to talk about. And one of these days, I'll get in more detail of what happened and all the situations with my parents, but it's just not gonna be today. Today is just we're gonna try to keep it light now. That was the crazy part. Now it's we're gonna try to liven it up. So changing subjects. Big dog. When was do you remember the day or like the moment where you realized you weren't immortal? Like was there a specific time where you're just like, oh shit, I could actually die? Like, oh fuck, like
I mean,
living with hemophilia too, right?
Yeah, because I think, it's always when my mom used to remind me as a baby, because she told me there was a point where I was just like playing, in the fucking ground back in Mexico, and there was 2 scorpions, bro, that were coming straight towards me, and obviously like, I always think back to that day, because obviously I was a kid, I don't fucking remember, but she was like telling me that she was just sweeping and then she saw 2 scorpions coming after me, bro. And it always trips me out because it's like if my mom would have turned around, I would have died right then and there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it's always been kind of weird to think of like, oh, what happened if fucking scorpions would have got me? Well, if I'm a baby, bro, I'm gonna be gone. But I think the closest I've felt that way was probably when I was put down for the first time, bro. And like when surgery, yeah. Okay. I think it was when I cracked my head open, bro. I forgot. I don't know if I don't think it was a skating accident. I think I fell off a bike or something, and they took me to the hospital. And I remember they told my parents like, "Oh, we're gonna have to put him down and put stitches and staples on this fool's head."
Was this in elementary?
No, it was middle school. This was middle school.
Okay.
And I remember hearing that, bro, because I remember a lot of the time people would be scared to go under because supposedly like sometimes the body rejects it and like. Either that or you wake up, you know? So I remember seeing, like, my parents crying and shit, and, like, I was like, damn, like, what if I don't wake up? Because I remember, bro, like, when they put the mask on and they count from 10 to 1, and by 6, I was gone, fool. And then I remember, like, a click, and you just wake up, and you don't know where you're at.
Crazy.
You're just looking around, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, where am I, bro? So it's just one of those things, bro, like, where it's just, like, surgery, legit.
So,
everything dims out, bro.
Wow.
I've had dreams of dying. I've had dreams of like getting shot and just bleeding out, not to get too gruesome and stuff. But I think I want to say I was like maybe like 12 around that age, like anywhere from like 10 to 12, I believe, when that happened. And obviously for me, it's always kind of like, like more difficult because life is more fragile for me being a hemophiliac. So obviously my doctors tell me, oh, you got to be careful. You can't bump your head. Like, my chances of surviving like a bad accident, like a car accident, are very slim, So, but I've skated, bro. I've done shit that I shouldn't have been doing. Yeah. And we're still here, bro, and I think for me, that's what it was, bro. Being put under is not fun.
So that was like, oh shit, I could die.
No, low key, because I'm like, because when I saw my mom crying, I was like, why is she crying? You know what I'm saying? Because that scared me. Because I'm like, oh, like, is there? And I remember asking the doctor, I was like, and I was like, how long am I gonna be under? He's like, you should only be under for like 2-3 hours. And I was like, fuck, bro, like. And so to me, that tripped me out because I'm like, these fools are gonna be working on my head, fool, and I'm just asleep, That's
a scary thing.
That's a scary thing. So when I woke up, I was like, oh shit, you hug everything, you're all excited. But it's like a small little like surgery. Yeah. But because to them it's normal, I've never dealt with that, so it was just different.
You're a kid too, right?
Yeah. But what about you,
Probably like around high school, bro. Like honestly, like probably freshman year. I think I remember I was like taking a nap or something, and I think I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I think I had like a nightmare or something where like there was a fucking crocodile that was like coming to get me,
Sick ass.
and like crocodiles, they grab you and they take you under the water, and they do the death roll.
Sick ass was on.
And I don't know why I was having that nightmare, but I kind of like I was panicking, right? And
Yeah.
apparently my brother, he was there. He was in the room. No, wait, no. Somebody heard me not being able to breathe because I was like panicking so much in my nightmare and shit. And they woke me up. I forgot who it was. It was probably like my mom or something, honestly. And it's like one of those night terrors, right? I guess you could call them. It felt so real, right? It felt so real, dude. Like just being taken under the water, drowning, and then getting like bit by something. I don't know if like I probably like realistically like was sleeping and I wrapped myself around a blanket too many times. Like I just turned too many times and it just like it
You
probably
suffocated
probably
yourself?
choked me out.
You're
and
a sick ass fool.
It's probably what happened,
Yeah.
But I just remember that day waking up and like how you said like holy shit, what the fuck? I was panicking and I was like, dude, I was dying. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I was dying. Like I couldn't breathe. Everything was going dark. And it just it was probably like a freshman year, like around when I was like 14, 15 years old. And then ever since that day, I was just like a little bit depressed. I was just like, damn, dude, like it could just end just like that,
Yeah, bro. And I think like obviously with growing up, like, because my family had a lot of like, close relatives and friends and stuff. So I think once I started hearing people die is when it kind of got me like, as a kid, you try to be innocent. You're like, oh, blah, blah, whatever. But the older you get, you realize like, damn, but like there's less people around me,
Yeah,
like
I was saying, just pins keep dropping.
Yeah, pins keep dropping and you're just like, fuck, you know. Because it's like, I've always hated asking the question to myself, when is it my turn? Or when people say, hey, would you like to know when your last day is? And I'm like, I don't think I would,
It's a tough question, yeah.
And it's like, and then it's like, always go was like, well, if you knew when you were going to die, would you change your life to like, and I've always told myself, like, I don't think so, bro. Like, I think to be like a realist, like, I think for me, I'd be more paranoid. I'm like, all right, well, I only got 2 years left. Like, fuck it, like,
yeah.
But I think for me, because like, obviously the rancho that we're from in Mexico, you just hear people drop, fool. Because obviously everybody, I remember when my dad's dad passed away, that was the first death that I was like, oh shit, because I would rarely see that, fool. And then eventually it went over to like my grandma from my mom's side, and then it went for my grandpa, and then you kind of just start hearing like shit like that go down, like cousins or uncles or like.
Oh yeah.
And so for me, it's like, I think for me when it got scary, bro, is when you start realizing how much closer it gets to you, because it goes from like great grandfather, grandfather, aunt, cousin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like that's the closest it's gotten to me, like close friend, cousin. And then to me, like I had 2 dads that just kind of fucked me up. I had 2 of my cousins that passed away, and like and it's always weird, bro, when you go through that, when you experience like that, because like again, like I can't even imagine what you went through being your parents. Like for me, these were 2 cousins that I would see from time to time. One was going through his struggles, and another one was just going through like difficult times with like his family and stuff. So it's never fun to get a phone call. I've been to too many funerals the last 3-4 years, bro, and like
and that's the weird thing, bro.
And I've never thought I'd be numb to a funeral, because I don't like going to cemeteries. Me personally, bro, I've never been a fan of cemeteries or stepping, like. But to walk 3 caskets, bro, in a span of 2 years, just that shit did something to me, dog. And like, and it's one of those things where like, again, people ask you, hey, do you want to be, what is it, the ones that, one of the 6 men that
carrying the usher, or no, it's
not the usher. I forgot what it's called, but 3 times I've been asked to carry a casket, and it fucks you up. And it fucks you up, bro. I mean, it's one of those things where you're carrying a lifeless body that used to mean something to you.
Yep.
When you see them inside the casket, you're like, well, they're at peace. You know, their soul's gone, their soul's free. And you know, from time to time, when I go visit, you know, my cousin or you know one of my buddies that passed away, like it's weird when you talk to them, right? Because you're like, can they hear me? You know, do you feel me here? Like,
Yeah.
and it's just one of those things, bro, where, you know, like, again, like a lot of people get very uncomfortable with the conversation of death because some people can't explain it because some people haven't gone through it yet, you know? And it's like, and even if it's like a, like a dog that passed away, your cat,
yeah.
you know, something like, but losing like a human life, bro, it's just one of those things. Being as close as they were, like, it's not fun, bro, you know? And like, seeing like all the people showing up. And then like, I think for me, I've always asked myself, and I don't know if it's like a, you know, like one of those like things where like, why do you think about this? Like, who's gonna show up to my funeral? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna be there? Who do I want there? You know what I'm saying? You kind of try to make it a joke. I remember when I was a kid, before I was a fucking psycho, I used to be like, yeah, bro, when I die, there's gonna be 500 people at my funeral. Cause I swear everybody likes me and shit, you know? But then like, as
That's a good question.
You know, but the older I get, I'm like, well, I just kind of want these people here, you know, like the ones that have been there. But I don't know, bro. Like, at least for me, like, you know, it's too familiar to me, dog.
It's funny, and it's funny how you said that too. Like these past couple years, and it's for me, it's also been these past couple years, bro. Even before my mom passed away, the first one to go was my grandma. My grandma passed away, and then shortly thereafter, one of my like coolest uncles that I loved passed away, and then like my stepdad passed away right after, and then right after that was like my mom, and then right after that was my dad, and then like it's like just too quick, you know what I mean? These past like 5 years, I think it's been, these past 5 years been really tough. And like how you said, bro, like going to funerals, I just feel very, like I feel nothing nowadays,
No, and it's true, bro. Like I don't
times.
think people realize, like, because even when I used to go to therapy and shit, and my therapist would ask me, because she'd be like, dude, you want to another funeral? And it's just one of those things, like, and she would ask me, like, well, how does that make you feel? I was like, honestly, I don't feel anything anymore. Like, I think, and she asked me, like, did you cry? I was like, I cried at random points during that day, like for my buddy that passed away, my childhood homie, being asked last minute if I could be one of the helpers to carry his casket into like, his resting place. I remember being on the side of the church, fool, and like, you see the box, bro, and you just telling yourself, fool, just hop out, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at everybody, and then boom, bro, the tears just came, dog, and you like. And that was one of the first times where I couldn't control my tears away. Like, I told myself, stop trying to be a man, bro. Let it go. I fucking broke down there at the end of there, bro. And it happened every time, bro. Like you said, like for me, recently it was my grandpa. I was never close to my grandpa, but seeing my mom, the way she, that killed me. And then it was my buddy, my childhood buddy. And then it was one of our buddies from high school or from elementary school too. And then it was my barber, bro, that I had known for like 6 years.
Trip.
And then from that, it's like, without due respect, it was your mom, bro. And then I got the news about I got the news about my cousin. And then the following year, it was obviously, respectfully again, it was your father. And then it was one of my other cousins, bro. And it's just like one of those things, bro, where I'm just like, fuck, dog, like. And and like again, like. And it's funny because, there's some people that be like, damn, bro, all these people are passing away. I need to figure out my life. Bro, I went into this, like, stagnant.
Same way, man.
Just stagnant life, bro, where I'm like, well, what the fuck is the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I going to achieve all this if I'm going to die? And then that's a mentality that I was stuck in for such a long time, dog.
I feel you, man.
And
I completely agree with you.
And it just, it got me, bro. Like, it legit got me. Like, I felt like the ground, like the earth was pulling me down, bro, because I was just like, I could not pick my shit up, bro. And it's just like, who do you talk to? You know what I'm saying? I can't talk to you because you're fucking going through it. I
Yeah.
can't talk to my family. They're fucking going through it.
Yeah.
You know, like, sure, when I was talking to my therapist, it was like, cool, but it's just like, I kind of need a hug, but I can't ask you for a hug. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it got hard, bro. You know, and like, obviously sometimes, like, I get, you know, being vulnerable, like, I got into a dark place, bro. I was not doing well. Like, you know, I was drinking a little heavier. I was doing shit I wasn't supposed to be doing. And, like, just putting myself in those situations where I'm like, well, fuck, fool, maybe it's time for me to dip, you know? But, you know, out of being able to figure all that shit out and just kind of getting my mind better, and, like, you start to realize, like, all right, bro, like, snap out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it sucks to say, like, it happened. You got to move on, you know? Like, they would, the famous quote, they would want you to be happy. They would want you to keep going. And I think now, like you said, bro, now that we have this podcast, it's always one of those heavy things where, like you said earlier, like, some people are never going to be able to see us grow or succeed. And
Tough.
and it's tough, bro. And,
Yeah,
like,
tough.
I don't know, bro. You know, like, to me, I'm not, that's why sometimes when people ask me, like, oh, like, do you want kids? Do you want pets? Do you want this? Do you want that? And I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, just knowing that, like, fuck, my dog's going to die. My cat's going to die. You know, like, if I have kids, hopefully I pass before them. And it's just this whole cycle.
Yeah, it's a tough pain, you know. to go
Oh,
through.
yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. But then, you know, like, kind of piggybacking off of you, you know what I mean? Like, same thing, you know, I was in a dark place after all that happened to me, too, you know what I mean? I wasn't a very happy person to be around with, you know. I've had this fucking clothing brand for fucking years, and just I couldn't do anything, you know what I mean? You know, luckily, my mom did see my clothing brand, which, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
If you aren't following, hit up Sense No Evil. Yeah, so I mean, at least you got to see that, you know. But something tells me, you know, it makes me feel like she's still around, you know. Obviously, you know, sometimes.
Oh, most definitely, bro.
You feel presence. I don't know if it's just me or if you guys feel the same way, but it's just, you know, sometimes you feel like she's around. You feel a gust of wind from out of nowhere. It's not windy, but no trees get blown, but like your hair, you know, your spidey senses go off, and, you know, so sometimes, you know, I like to tell myself, like, oh shit, that's my mom or that's my dad or whatever, you know what I mean? But you know, like, I think the way the way I got over this whole, like, depression or, like, this whole dark place in my life these past couple of years was accepting this motherfucker right here, accepting death.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's
Not that, you know what I mean? It's just like how you were saying, it's like, why would I do all this shit if I'm just gonna die anyway? You know, that was my mentality. But then, like, I surely just tweaked it a little bit. I'm like, well, I might as well do all this shit because I'm gonna die anyway. So that's been my lifestyle. It's like, well, I might as well fucking do my fucking clothing brand. I might as well fucking start a podcast. I might as well start, you know, doing whatever I want because I'm gonna die. So it's rather than, like, I shouldn't do anything because I'm gonna die. It should be, you should do something.
No, of
because,
course. And it's like,
you
at
know,
the end of the
you're
day,
gonna
bro,
die.
like, you know, I guess it's just kind of like, you kind of, at first you try to look for hope, you know, and then you realize that you're really just trying to find some joy in life, bro. And, like,
Yeah, there you go.
and that's why, like, I always, like, you know, from talking to people and, like, you know, if they go through something, I always try to tell them, like, you know what, man, like, regardless of them being here or not, like, you've made memories with people. You've established lifestyles, relationships with certain individuals in your life. Like, keep that close to you, you know, like, never let that shit fade away. Because although, yeah, they're not here, they're always with us, bro.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I just had to learn, you know, because one of my buddies that passed, his house is right across the street from mine, bro. So every day when I leave to work, his house is the first one I see.
Yeah.
And then, you know, obviously sometimes it brings me flashbacks to, like, the details that they gave me on how he passed and shit. Or, like, sometimes I think about the last time he was in my backyard or whatever, you know, and, like,
Yeah.
and then so, you know, obviously it's like a weird transition because then you just kind of have to snap out of it, bro, because your day keeps going, you know.
Yeah.
Like, the sad reality is this world ain't gonna stop for nobody, bro, you know. And same shit, like, when we pass, it's not gonna slow down. Business ain't gonna stop making money, and other things that happen. Like, we're just gonna keep going, you know. But we do have to live with that pain, you know. And, like,
Yeah, there you go.
sometimes you gotta Just suck it up, you know. As rude as that sounds, man, as fucked up as it sounds, that's just what it is, you know. Because I've always had the difficulty of like crying. You know, crying for me is really hard, and I'm not trying to be like Mr. Macho Man type shit, but it's just more of those things where like I forgot how to cry, fool. You know, because I've always, just again try to be Mr. Cool Guy or like, oh, I don't cry, fucking blah blah blah. And now it's like when it hits me, bro. You know, so I've always told people too, like, don't be afraid to feel, bro. Like if there's days, because there's gonna be days that are harder than others, man. And those days when you're feeling, like, let it go, bro. Like feel what you need to feel. Like if you need time alone or go cry, go do it, man. Like don't hold it in, because that's just, it damages the heart, bro. And like obviously, we already got enough pain as it is. You know, like we gotta have room for joy and hope and all that stuff, dog. And that's why, like, I try to be a better person every day, bro. I try to help where I can. Again, when people are like, oh, well, what about your legacy and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, like, I'm just here, man. There's some people who are going to remember me as a piece of shit. Some people are going to think, oh, that guy was cool. This guy was funny. Yep. You can't control it, bro. At the end of the day, everybody makes mistakes, man. Everybody's not perfect, but, we're not promised to stay forever. So let's try to be a little better every day, I guess, is a little message I can say to everybody,
Yeah. And if you guys have any of these feelings or whatever, just please comment, DM us if you guys feel the same way, whatever you want. If you need someone to talk to, always hit us up. This is the shit that we go through. Shit's very real, and like the big dog said, everybody goes through it, it's one way or another. So, just let us know. But all right, so now, like, keeping the same topic, but let me ask you this. Have you ever had any close encounters to death? Like, where, like, maybe you were driving or you actually were in a fucking gang and, like, or someone was shooting at you or anything like that? Or anything like that you remember?
Oh, it's crazy. The day before we graduated high school, I remember I was skating to school in the morning. And I still trip out how this happened, bro. Like, I remember I was skating to school. And then I remember I had passed this one guy, just random dude, just walking the opposite way. And I got off my board and I started walking. And for some reason, bro, my gut just told me to turn around. And I remember I turned around and this fool started running towards me with a machete, bro. And the crazy thing was, bro, that I froze, bro, for a second. Because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, am I tripping out? And then I was like, is this fool looking at somebody? And this fool was straight coming after me with a machete, bro. And I just got on my board and I started skating like crazy. And I was like, bro, please don't hit a rock. Don't eat shit. Yeah. And, dude, that's the fastest I've ever skated. Because it was one of those moments where I'm like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, and legit, this fool was coming. And then I ended up finding out that he was one of the baseball players from Godinez, bro.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know if this would just... I don't remember that. Because I remember... So weirdly enough, the guy that chased me was an honor band way.
Really?
He was an honor band. And the only reason why I remember it was him, because I remember his Letterman jacket.
I remember you told me that.
Yeah, I remember his Letterman jacket. And I remember seeing same haircut, same style.
Crazy.
And I remember he saw me, and this was after... Or no, this was before it happened, actually. So that's why when I saw him chasing me, I knew who he was because he looked so familiar. And it was just one of those things where it tripped me out because I'm like, if I stop now, I don't know if this was on something. Yeah. I don't know if he thinks I'm somebody else. I can't be here. You know what I'm saying? And that was probably the scariest encounter that I had because we've been chased around before. I remember this dude chased us around once and we needed to hide under a car and shit to get away from him. But this fool had a whole ass weapon on him, dog. So... worst case was like, I'm going to have to fight this with my skateboard. But again, this fool's got a whole blade. If he catches me good, arm's gone or whatever. So that was one of the closest that I could remember now of like seeing death coming towards me. Because again, in high school, I was a twig, bro. Yeah. So I was like, I can't fight this fool. Those baseball players were big, fool. Yeah. So for me, that was one of the encounters. I'm like, oh shit. I need a fight or flight, so I did. Yeah. I was like, I'm out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a similar situation like that too. I think I used to be in a punk band with an old homie of mine.
Shit, Urban
Shout
Nagas or what?
Shout out Balloon.
Balloon.
I think we were practicing. I forgot the street, but it was really close to my house. It was by the bike trail.
Cedar.
Huh? Oh, Cedar.
Cedar
Oh
Street,
yeah, there
yeah.
you go. Hell yeah, good memory. Yeah, and then same thing, bro. A gang, bro. A gang. You know how it is back in the day. It's like, oh, where you from? And it's like, bro, I was a twig too, bro. Long hair, twig.
Rocker ass.
Bro,
fool.
I was just skating home, like, just chilling. I wasn't even going fast. I wasn't listening because I used to like have like a little speaker or boombox. Yeah. I used to
Yeah.
bug everybody by listening to my shit all loud. But this particular day, like around like I think after sunset, maybe an hour after sunset, I was just going home after practice. You know what I mean? And I had seen this car, like just going around, like when I was walking out of the block of Cedar, and then when I got to like St. Gertrude, my street, and I was still like 2 blocks away. I saw these people get out of this car, asking me where the fuck I'm from and this and that. And I was like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, like these fools pull out what it looks like to me as guns. And, like same thing, like, bro, like I was like, holy shit, like you freeze for a bit and you go, what the fuck do you do right now? Like, holy shit.
Yeah, bro. It's one of those intense moments.
Yeah.
Dog.
And it's like, same thing like you, my first instinct was like, fuck, let me get back on my fucking board. But I didn't even go home, bro, because like, in the back of your head, you go like, oh shit, if I go home,
they're going to follow me.
they're gonna know where I live. So like, I think I remember I was going down St. Gertrude, going west, right? And then my school was to my right, my old elementary school. So I went to the elementary school. I think I jumped like that elementary,
the fence,
the kindergarten fence, because it was smaller, and like I jumped that fence, and then I hit on the fucking slide, bro. And like I waited for like I don't know how long, like 30 minutes. I did see the car pass by, but I don't know if it saw me. And I don't know if they were just fucking around or whatever. They probably were just fucking around, but I saw it as a fucking threat, and I was like fucking petrified.
And that's the thing, bro. You like encountering those situations, like
especially
back in the day in Santa Ana, bro. You could you could not take it as a joke. Like you got to dip for like
I used to hear like sometimes like in gangs be like, oh hey, to join the gang you need to fucking do this shit.
Yeah, bro. And it's crazy.
Initiation.
Like especially
kill
around
this
that
fucker
block.
for whatever reason.
Especially around that block, bro. It was, that whole situation there.
Sick as little memories.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
But yeah, man. If anybody wants to share their close encounter to death, please do so on the comments. You know what I mean?
Or you can just DM us directly.
DM us.
If you don't want to put your business out there.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Or if you were the one.
If you're out here causing
you were
destruction,
God,
and
you know what I mean? As we wind down, like couple of the questions I got for you, big dog. So when it is your time to go, and I hope it's a long fucking time from now, what does Ricky Bobby say? Like, who knows? Maybe through the advancement of medical sciences, who knows? I could live till 101. So hopefully that happens, to you. You live a very long time. Obviously, I'd rather go before you.
Nah, bro, it's not gonna happen.
But that day, or not even that day, just you now. Like, would you rather get buried or would you rather get cremated?
I've always had a tough time with this question, because I remember like this shit threw me off. Like a year and a half ago, bro, these people came to my house, and I thought they were like JWs or somebody, selling us shit, whatever. And then they left, and I asked my mom, I was like, "Oh, who are those people?" "Oh, I'm paying for my funeral, my casket."
What?
I was like, "What?" So apparently that's the thing. So like I guess it's a program where I guess people come, and it's like they sell your insurance or whatever the fuck, but it's your death plan, bro.
Dang.
It's your casket plan. She's like, "Oh yeah, I paid this much a month to pay for my casket, so when I'm dead, you guys don't have to worry about it."
Dang.
And I'm like, bro, who the fuck, and that's such a selfless thing, right? Like to think that like, oh, mama, like, again, not that she's already planning for her death or whatever, but like she told me, she's like, "Oh, you should sign up." I was like, "Mom, I'm 20, whatever. Like the last thing I want to do is put money towards my death. That just seems weird."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, yeah, that way, when I die, how casual the fuck they are about, well,
For real, dude.
when I die, like, That way you guys don't have to worry about it. And, you know, whatever the fuck. So that threw me off, and it got me thinking. I was like, what do I want? You know, like, because my dumbass is, I was like, well, I'm going to go the cheaper route. Like, I'll just get cremated. That way these fools don't have to deal with, like, burials and all that shit.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, do I want to be unfair and take away, like, the visiting rights, you know, of my family to come visit me?
Yeah.
But then it's always, like, right now, bro, like, I think I'm, like, dead, like, 50-50, dog.
50-50?
Because it's just, like, as much as I love the fact that I can go visit my cousins and my buddy, you know, like, there's always that empty feeling when you're leaving the cemetery. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, would I rather just get cremated? That way, you know, like, if I get put in the locket or whatever the fuck, da-da-da-da-da, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'm right there. Like, if they put me in a little vase or whatever the fuck, I'm right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool.
Visit anytime, yeah.
But it's just like, I think it also creeps me out knowing that there's hella dead bodies around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think maybe right now I'm leaning more to cremated just because it's more simpler. Yeah. It is kind of diabolical, you know? Be like, here's a vase of your son, you know? Like, fuck. What about you?
Same thing. Like, so ever since, like, I had that experience when I was in freshman year when I was getting killed by this crocodile. I was like, well, shit, I should start thinking about how the fuck I'm going to go. You know what I mean? And same thing as you. Like, I don't know how I feel about, you know, caskets and cemeteries, because it really does suck that last goodbye when you see the fucking casket go down 6 feet.
Oh,
under.
bro.
It's, you know, I've experienced just like you know, like it's very tough, you know, like leaving you know, they gave you the shovel and be like, hey, do you want to throw in some dirt for your loved one? And, you know, so, like, I don't know if I want to put that on people. You know what I mean?
Bro. I mean.
And, you know, my grandma, she was buried, like, in a very beautiful casket, but, like, it was, like, a see-through, like, fucking glass.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And so it was very sad seeing her go down.
Oh, I can't even imagine,
bro. Like,
I can't even imagine.
You know, it's very tough. So, like, yeah, I don't know if I want that. I do remember going to my grandma's, like, awakening, right? Or is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Her wake.
Yeah.
It was on this church, but it was also like a cemetery per se. And I thought it was very beautiful. There's a section. It looked like a room full of glass, you know. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like a room. It was a room with hallways, but every wall was glass, but the glass were shelves, and every shelf had had the urns.
Oh,
with the cremations.
Oh, that's cool.
But like it was like maybe like a box, probably like 4x4x4, right? So it's a nice little box.
Yeah.
And it was in glass, and you could see the urn, and then you could see the picture of who it was, and then you see like a little memento, like I don't know, like the little jewelry that they used to wear. And I always thought that was very fucking cool, dude. I was like, dude, I think that'd be way better.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be easier.
And then to go down in the dirt, you know, I'd rather be somewhere where like my family can come, be like, hey, this is my cremation's. Like, look, he's his fucking his bracelets that he used to wear every day, his rings, his glasses are right there, you know, in that little box, that clear box, and it's like that's him.
No, and it's funny because like I remember. I think there was a time where like my mom, like I think it was my mom or my dad asked me like, oh, like do you want us to like spread your ashes? And at that point, fool, you know, I was like mad skaters. I'm like Centennial. I was like, take me to Centennial. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hell yeah,
take me over here, like dumbass places, bro. You know that you're just like take me to Guitar Center. You know, fuck, you know, like. So I thought it was always funny, chain reaction, fool, like. And so to me, it was always funny to think that, you know, because, like, obviously you always hear stories about people, like, at Disneyland that fucking are disgusting and be throwing their ashes and shit on the rides.
Lucky.
And it was always funny because my dad's always like, yeah, you know, if I go, like, take me to Mexico, spread my ashes out there and shit, you know. But it's always, too, like, it's, I think, like, the beauty of, like, older couples that like get buried together or on top of each other type of shit, you know, like.
Well, my thoughts have changed ever since I got married. Now it's like, oh, it'd be cool to get married with my wife right next to each other. You know what I mean?
Get married with your wife?
Oh, get buried. Did they say married?
You said married.
Yeah, get buried with my wife.
Yeah, like that's
you know?
cool, bro. I mean, to think that like,
Always on top, though. You know what I mean?
well, I mean,
It's good. But yeah, I think like you were saying, like I think that's very cool. You know, right? Like seeing the double plot. You know, like maybe like a little. I've been to like one cemetery recently where I saw like a little bench. You know, people can sit down,
oh yeah,
and you know, in front of them is like their loved ones. You know, and it's both. You know, the couple. You know, and so that's probably something nowadays that I'm more towards. You know, because my wife wants to get buried for sure, and so you know, what the wife wants, she
happy
gets.
wife, happy
Yeah.
life, battles.
So probably gonna get buried with her. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's cool though, bro. Like that shit's cool for sure.
Yeah. But well, shit, man. Yeah. As we wind down, man, this is a very tough episode. Obviously, you know, I apologize for all the voice cracks and all
And
that
nothing to
stuff.
apologize for,
You
battle.
know, it's very tough. It's painful. Obviously, you could probably tell from our voices. It's a very tough subject. You know, it's still something that people don't really talk about. But we wanted to talk about it and see what's up, see how you guys feel. If you guys feel the same, we just want to give you like a little. We're always fucking around here. You know what I mean?
We got a little in tune with their emotions today.
But today was a pretty serious one, and I hope you guys appreciate that. That's a little snippet of what we can do. You know what I mean? We don't take this shit like too lightly as a joke, but we can get real sometimes. And hopefully, this entices you guys to, hop on the pod. You know what I mean? Obviously, open invitation to anybody who's hearing this, all our listeners. If you guys want to hop on, and be a guest of our podcast, if you guys want to talk about any of these situations, like death or family, you miss them, or fuck, I don't like spiders, I don't like planes, I fucking hate driving in the morning. Whatever you want to talk about, man, just hop on. If you want to plug anything, if you want to plug your socials, your art, your music, anything, just hop on. Let us know. It's an open invitation to all of you. And if you know anybody,
Yeah.
push them towards us. Let them know who we are and what up. And that's pretty much that's what I got. About you, big dog?
No, same thing. I mean, I just want to tell everybody thank you for sticking with us. I know I have my 4 or 5 listeners weekly that come at me and they're, oh, why are you guys dropping late? Oh, this shit was funny. Like, oh, like you guys are time. So it's cool, man. Like the little interactions are obviously what keeps us going, wanting to give you guys like the best every week, so thank you. And yeah, like Fabian said, like this was obviously one of our more serious in tune podcasts, that occasionally you guys might get. But yeah, man, I mean, like Fabian pretty much hit it on the head. Like if you guys want to come on, if you have anybody that wants to do interviews or whatever, wants to be part of something, hop on. We're out here, we're local. We want to be able to interview everybody and anybody, so if you're camera shy or whatever, if you want to, get through that fear of being on a podcast or whatever, like we'll help you out with that, We're not professionals, but we try, we try to be as professional as can be. But other than that, with a lighthearted message, hug those around you.
Yep.
Tell everybody you love them. If you got people still here, be there, appreciate them. And for those of you who've lost somebody this year or recently or in the last 10 years, whatever, like, just be grateful you were a part of their adventure,
There you go.
And so with that being said, thank you guys again. We appreciate you. And hopefully you guys stick with us to the end and shit.
Yeah. And same thing on my birthday.
Oh, yeah, perro, happy birthday. Fuck, food, dark ass.
Take it as a personal challenge to you guys. I'm giving you guys a challenge on your birthdays. Give your mom some flowers, man. Let her feel special because she's the one that carried you, through these 9 months and then whatever, how many years you've lived. You know what I mean?
And if you guys made it to the end, spam happy birthday on Fabian's socials or on our, on our IG. That way we know you guys are real ones. But thank you guys.
Sir.
And we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Later.
Late.